Bonjour tout le monde. Today we are looking at describing oneself and family members in French. So our objectives entail the following. We're going to identify vocabulary to describe oneself and one's family members. We're going to use the verbs être and avoir to describe relationships and characteristics. And last but not least, we're going to apply the appropriate adjectives with their proper gender and number agreement. So here we have a family tree. Ma famille, of course, is my family in French. And the first two people we see up here, let's see if I can get my pointer, right? We have mon grand-père, meaning my grandfather, ma grand-mère, my grandmother, and when you put them together, we have mes grands-parents, my grandparents. Coming down from that, we have mon père, my father, ma mère, my mother, mon frère, my brother, ma sœur, my sister, and moi, me, myself. Across from mon père et ma mère, we have mon oncle, which is my uncle, ma tante, my aunt, mon cousin, which is a male cousin, and ma cousine, my female cousin. Of course, this is a simple family tree, and in French, it's l'arbre généalogique. L'arbre généalogique, right? The family tree. So here we have on display our family tree, as seen on the slide. Right, so in class I would have walked around and asked, qui est dans ta famille? If I haven't done that with you, of course we will have it coming up soon when we reconvene. Qui est dans ta famille? Who is in your family? And these are some responses, right? And if you want to respond in a proper manner, you'd say, dans ma famille. So we're changing ta, which is your, to ma. And we're using back famille, meaning in my family, dans ma famille, il y a, there is, or there are, and you can list any one of these members as well as the members that you would have learned back in Form 2. All right, so for example, if you want to say in my family, there are 5 people, you'll say, dans ma famille, il y a 5 personnes. Right, 5 meaning 5 and personnes meaning persons or people. Right, and then you can list them. Right, mon frère, ma mère, mon père, ma sœur et moi. All right, for example. So we would have discussed the responses, which I just sort of did, and that's the focus of this lesson, focusing on family members, but not just the members themselves, but describing them. So of course we need to know who they are first. So going on to the vocabulary, we would have seen, right, père of course means father, mère is mother, frère is brother, sœur sister, grand-père grandfather, grand-mère grandmother, etc. And the remaining family members, I go to page 29 now, page 29. So you can go to your textbook. Of course, you should know by now to have your textbooks ready. If you don't have it, pause the video, get it, and come back. So right, on page 29, you see the second bullet point, talk about my family. So ma famille, my family. J'ai un père, I have a father. Une mère, a mother. Un beau-père, a stepfather. Une belle-mère, a stepmother. Une sœur, a sister. Deux sœurs, 2 sisters. And you can put yourself as well. Say trois sœurs, 3 sisters. Quatre sœurs, 4 sisters. 10 sœurs, 10 sisters. And so on and so forth. Test yourself with the numbers. All right, so continuing the list coming down, we have un frère, a brother, 3 frères, 3 brothers. Same thing here. Continue testing yourself with numbers just randomly. Pronunciation as well. 50 frères, 50 brothers, etc. And we're going on to un demi-frère, a stepbrother, half brother, and then une demi-sœur, a stepsister or half sister. Un cousin, a male cousin. Une cousine, a female cousin. Un grand-père, a grandfather. Une grand-mère, a grandmother. Des parents, masculine pluriel. Well, masculine plural, sorry. So, of course, remember the word parent in French, parents in English, is masculine. So here they have the masculine plural. So whether you're talking about my mother, a parent, the word itself is still masculine. It doesn't change to suit the gender of the person being spoken about. That's the idea here. Right. Des grands-parents, same thing. Grandparents, masculine plural, doesn't change to suit either one. Right. And then the last two, according to this list here, which is the main list we're going to be referring to throughout the term, un oncle and uncle, and then une tante and aunt. And at the bottom there, which is still useful, we say je suis fils unique, I am an only son. Je suis fille unique, I am an only daughter. Je suis enfant unique, I am an only child. And this last part is not quite important, but still for the sake of pronunciation, we say je suis l'ami de, I am the friend of whoever. Right, so it could be a family friend. L'ami de mon oncle or whatever. Right. So I hope that's clear. Heading back to the slide now. So we have physical and personality adjectives. Now I only put 4 here. Did I put 4? Yes, 4. But of course on the other pages, 20, 21, and 24, there are many other adjectives which we'll come across in a short bit. So first and foremost, we have the adjective grand, meaning tall, masculine, and grande for feminine. Petit, masculine for short, and petite, masculine, feminine, sorry, for short. Intelligent, masculine for intelligent, and intelligente is the feminine. Right? These are all singular too. And last but not least, we have gentil for masculine singular and gentille feminine. Right? Gentil, we pronounce the L a bit, and gentille is like a Y, L-L-E. It's a Y sound for the feminine. Kind. All right, gentil and gentille both mean kind for the masculine and feminine. Singular in this case. If we were to make them plural, we would just add S to grand to make it masculine plural, add ES to make it feminine plural for all the others as well. Same rule applies for all of them. Add S for the masculine, add ES for feminine plural. Right, when we go to page 20 now, heading back into our Tricolor book 1, all right, you would see, where is it? So these are like the family members, of course. Right, the first activity here, exercise 1A, it's really a listening exercise, but of course the listening exercise, there are speech bubbles so that you can read through it. So I'll read through it. All right, I'm gonna start with voici mon frère, il s'appelle Daniel et il a 10 ans. Here is my brother. His name is Daniel and he is 10 years old. And right under that is voici ma sœur, elle a 14 ans. Here's my sister, she is 14 years old. Right? Okay. Actually, backing up a bit, we were supposed to start on top. I forgot. So the guy who's speaking to us says, je m'appelle Thomas Laurent et j'ai 12 ans. Dans ma famille, il y a 5 personnes, mes parents et 3 enfants. So my name is Thomas Laurent, or Laurent, and I'm 12 years old. In my family, there are 5 people, my parents and 3 children. And then he goes on to explain his brother or sister. And now we come across to where he describes his mother. He says, voici ma mère, Madame Claire Laurent. Here's my mother, Mrs. Claire Laurent. And voici mon père, Monsieur Jean-Pierre Laurent. Here is my father, Mr. Jean-Pierre Laurent. And then the sister speaks, last speech bubble. Je m'appelle Louise et je suis la sœur de Thomas et Daniel. My name is Louise and I am the sister of Thomas and Daniel, or I am Daniel and Thomas and Daniel's sister, as we say in English as well. All right. So, exercise 1B, they ask, qui est-ce? Who is it? Lis les phrases et écris les noms. Read the sentences and write the names. So, who says, number 1, j'ai 12 ans? They gave us the answer. Who says it? C'est Thomas. It is Thomas. Right? Thomas tells us that he is 12 ans. Right? He is 12 years old. So who for number 2 says j'ai 14 ans et j'ai 2 frères? Who says that one? Who is 14 years and has 2 brothers? Who's 14 years old and has 2 brothers? Of course, it is Louise, the sister. Right? So we would say c'est Louise. Right. Number 3 now, she says they say sorry. J'ai une sœur et un frère et j'ai 10 ans. Who says that one? When we look at it, it's Daniel. Right? He says in the purple speech bubble there. Alright, that the dead giveaway is the 10 ans, the 10 years part, right? Right, number 4, je suis le père et j'ai 3 enfants. Well, that one is a dead giveaway. Père, we know his father, right? So that would be c'est Jean-Pierre Laurent. Right, number 5, je suis la fille de Monsieur et Madame Laurent. So M dot, if I didn't explain it before, or for those of you who may have missed that particular session or lesson, M full stop or M dot means Monsieur or Mr. in English, and MME, capital M common ME means Madame. Right? Je suis la fille de Monsieur et Madame Laurent. Right? I am the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Laurent. Who says that one? It would be Louise again. Right? Well, she's the only daughter there. So, can I give away answer? Next one. Je suis la mère, j'ai 2 fils et une fille. Giveaway there. Je suis la mère. I am the mother. I have 2 sons and 1 daughter. Who is the mother? C'est Madame Claire Laurent. It is Mrs. Claire Laurent. And we almost finished number 7. C'est le père de famille. It's the father of the family. C'est Monsieur Jean-Pierre Laurent. That's the answer. And the last one, number 8. Numéro 8, c'est la sœur de Daniel. It is the sister of Daniel. C'est Louise. Right, so I hope that was pretty straightforward. So you see how we get to use avoir and être, right? But in the sense of I am and I have, right? We'll get later on, we'll get into how to use the other pronouns, he, they, etc. Right. So that is just introducing the family using avoir and être. We're going on to page 21, still in our textbooks. Right. So there's another listening activity, but here they also have the transcript. No, good. Page 21, exercise 4A. There is a listening exercise, but as I was saying before, there is the transcript. Right, so I'll read through the transcript. And you guys will follow in your books, and you can also read along or pause and repeat as the case may be. I preferably listen first and then you repeat. Right, so it says 3 familles, 3 families. Écoute et lis. Listen and read. Talia, tu as des frères et sœurs? Non, je suis fille unique. Tu as des cousins? Oui, j'ai une cousine, Delphine, et un cousin, Nicolas. Alright, so let's give a quick breakdown of this or a translation. It says, Talia, do you have brothers and sisters, or do you have any siblings? No, I'm an only child or an only daughter in this case. Do you have cousins? Yes, I have a cousin, Delphine, and a female cousin, Delphine, and a male cousin, Nicholas. Excuse me. So that's number 1. Going on to number 2 now. Et toi, Simon, as-tu des frères et sœurs? Non, je suis fils unique. Et tu habites avec ta grand-mère et ton grand-père, c'est ça? Oui, j'habite avec mon père et mes grands-parents. So, number 2 says, and you, Simon, do you have any brothers and sisters? Do you have any siblings? No, I'm an only son. You live with your grandmother and grandfather, yes? Is that so? Yes, I live with my father and my grandparents. And number 3 now. Et toi, Alice, tu es fille unique aussi? Non, non. Dans ma famille, il y a ma mère, mon beau-père et aussi mon demi-frère, David, et ma demi-sœur, Erika. Ils sont fantastiques. So, She says, well, they say, the interviewer, whoever is interviewing, says, and you, Alice, you are an only daughter as well? No, 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 no. In my family, there is my mother, my stepfather, and also my stepbrother, David, and my stepsister, Erica. They are fantastic. So when we look at exercise 4B now, it says vrai ou faux, true or false, right? So when you're working on these numbers, say numbers 1 to 10, it says Talia a un frère. We go back to Talia. She is an only girl child, an only daughter. So it's a faux. That's why they gave us number 1. It's already faux. Looking at Simon, it says number 2 says Simon a deux sœurs et une belle-mère, meaning Simon has 2 sisters and a stepmother. So you go down to Simon. What does he say? Je suis fils unique. What is that? Only son. So that is faux as well. That's false. Number 3, numéro 3. Alice a un demi-frère, David. Alice. When we go to Alice, does she say that? Yeah, she describes having her stepbrother David, and she lists his name too. So that's faux. That's vrai, sorry. Number 3 is vrai. Number 4 now. Talia est fille unique. Going back to Talia. Yes, she actually states that she is an only girl child. Number 5. Simon a un demi-frère. He also says je suis fils unique, meaning I'm an only son. So number 5 is false. Faux. Number 6. Alice est fille unique. Alice? No, she states all the people that she lives with. Right? So that's faux. Number 7. Simon a des grands-parents. Yep. He actually says it in the last line. He says, I live with my father and my grandparents. Number 8. Simon est fils unique. Yes. Oui. C'est vrai. That's true. Number 9. David a une sœur, Erika, et une demi-sœur, Alice. So, David has a sister, Erica, and a stepsister, Alice. That's actually true. So they do it in the reverse. They're using David instead of using Alice, who is the person we were reading about before. They used him. And this is all true. So his stepsister would actually be Alice, who was telling us her information. And Erika would be his sister because it's Alice's stepsister. Yeah. Last but not least, number 10, numéro 10, Talia a une cousine. Talia has a cousin. Yes, in her last line, she also says, j'ai une cousine Delphine. So, that's exercise 4B, part 21. Page 21, what am I saying? Right, so coming back to these slides now, we have être and avoir. Now, of course, in this exercise, as well as the one we did previously a little while ago, we did learn how to use être and avoir, right? And I would have given you a breakdown of the conjugation of être and avoir. So just to recap, if you have your notebook with the conjugation, please look at it now. So I'll just state it briefly. So, of course, je suis, I am. Well, I'll just go through the pronunciation. Of course, you'll have the translation. You should have it. So it's je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. Right? All conjugations for être to be in the present tense. Now, avoir, now, we have j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. All conjugations for avoir in the present tense, to have in the present tense. All right. Now, going to page 24, I'm going now in my book. One moment. They have the, in the dossier long, grammaire, the little blue table, grammar table, you'll see the singular of être, to be. In this unit, you use all the singular parts of a very important verb, French verb, être, to be. They say copy this table and fill in the English meanings. Of course, I would have given you all something very similar, right? But we went right down to the plurals. They just have the first person singular, first, second, and third person singulars. We would have done we, they, and you all. Alright. So we went a bit beyond, which is pretty much what I like to do. Challenge ourselves. Right. Going back to 21 for avoir, I'm going to read through the grammar note there. So turn to page 21, you'll see in the blue box, grammar note, the singular of avoir, meaning to have. In this unit, you have met all the singular parts of the verb avoir, to have. Remember to say your age, use the verb avoir. In French, you say have for years, right? Or have however many years, okay? So coming back to the slide now, we have here an example of using être and avoir at the same time, right? Which you'd be required to do to write a little sentence or two, or maybe a paragraph about your family. So take note. This says, Mon frère est grand et drôle. Il a des cheveux longs. Okay? Meaning my brother is tall and funny. He has long hair. Okay? So, just wanted to check something here. Alright. I want us to get an extended version of this. So turn back to page 24. Exercise 1A. There's a message or an email. Alright, and I'm going to read it. Read through it. It says, Salut, je suis ton correspondant français. Je m'appelle Yvon. Je suis fils unique, mais j'ai beaucoup d'amis. Et toi, tu as des frères et sœurs? Moi, je suis très sportif. Et toi, tu es sportif aussi? Mon ami Lou n'est pas sportif, mais il adore la musique. Ma copine Delphine aime la musique aussi. Elle écoute tout le temps son lecteur MP3. Réponds vite, Yvon. I'm going to translate this now. So it says, Salut, hi. I am your French correspondent. My name is Yvon. I'm an only son, but I have many friends. I have a lot of friends. And you? Do you have siblings or do you have brothers and sisters? I am very sporty. And you? Are you sporty as well? My friend Lou is not sporty, but he loves music. My girlfriend, Delphine, loves music also. She always listens to her MP3 player. Respond quickly or write back quickly, Yvonne. Alright? So we have a good use of the être and avoir here. Right? The first one is je suis. In the first line, I am. Then second line also je suis. And then j'ai later on. J'ai beaucoup d'amis. I have a lot of friends. And then he asks, tu as des frères et sœurs? Do you have brothers and sisters, right? So tu as. And then again, je suis très sportif. I'm very sporty. Right? And then looking for any more uses of wow, I'm not really seeing. No, there's no more. There's another verb here, écoute, meaning to listen. When he says elle écoute tout le temps son lecteur MP3. She always listens to her MP3 player. She listens to her MP3 player all the time. Tout le temps. All the time. Tout le temps. Right? TOUTLETEMPS. Tout le temps. Alrighty. So I hope that was good. So we're going on to exercise 1B. Vrai ou faux? Number 1. Yvon a un frère. We go back. Does he mention that he has a brother? No, because he says je suis fils unique, meaning I'm an only son. So that's faux. Numéro 2, number 2. Yvon est sportif. Je suis très sportif. So, c'est vrai. Je suis très sportif. Excusez-moi, means I am very sporty. Yeah. So that is vrai. C'est vrai. It is true. Number 3. Lou est un ami d'Yvon. When we look at it, we scan the paragraph, we see Lou. He mentions the first thing before he mentions Lou is mon ami. Mon ami means my friend. So automatically, yes, c'est vrai. Number 3 is vrai, meaning true, right? Number 4. L'ami d'Yvon s'appelle Lou. So this one, look at the spelling of Ami compared to the spell of this Ami here, number 4, versus the spelling in number 3. One has an E and one doesn't. You'll remember the difference, or you'll remember why we do that? Yeah, because the one without the E is masculine singular and the one with the E is feminine singular. Right? So, did he mention anything about a feminine singular? No, he mentioned not this friend, he mentioned his girlfriend. Right? And also, well, based on the information we have here, this number 4 is faux. Right? Lou is a male friend, and this friend they're mentioning here is a female. So, one time, no. C'est faux, it's false. Number 5, Lou est très sportif. Lou is very sporty. No, he mentions mon ami Lou n'est pas sportif. My friend Lou is not sporty. Right, number 6 now. La copine d'Yvon aime la musique. Yvonne's girlfriend loves or likes music. In this case, that's what like. Right, so he mentions that. He says, ma copine Delphine aime la musique aussi. They're in the second paragraph. So it is vrai, c'est vrai. Number 6 is true. Number 7, Delphine a un lecteur MP3. Yep, c'est vrai. She has an MP3 player. So it's true. Number 8, la sœur d'Yvon s'appelle Delphine. Oh, no, no, no. La copine, right? Didn't mention anything about his sister because remember he mentioned he was an only child, so where the sister coming out from? Right? So, one time once we see la sœur d'Yvon, we know, hey, that's wrong. Right? It have no sister of Yvon anywhere here. So, one time. Faux. Number 8, faux. False. I hope that was clear. If you need to go back to it, feel free to rewind, go back in the video. Alright, I want you to practice exercise 2 on message de Karine, right below that, where there are these spaces using the same strategy, or yeah, the same format strategy pattern that you see from what we just did with Yvon, right? So you're filling in the blanks based on how we completed activity number 1. Okay, the format is very similar to his letter. Her letter is very similar to his letter basically, and even the one below that, which would be your own response, they sort of give you, a little guide. So we are moving along. Excusez-moi. Right. In terms of the third bullet point, when you go back to the slide, you're seeing here highlight adjective agreement based on gender and number. I must pinpoint. I know I would have mentioned it way back or sometime before in the same for the same topic. If I didn't for the topic before, at least some other topic before. Whenever you are using être in particular to be, it has to conform to the gender and number. So if it's a female friend or a female individual that you're describing, remember you have to have the E at the end. So if you're saying she is short, you'd say elle est petite with an E at the end. If you want to say he is short, then it would be il est petit without the E at the end. Right? That's going back to this same example here, right before the second bullet point here, where you see mon frère est grand et drôle. Right? My brother is tall and funny. Right? If you were to say my sister is tall and funny, it would of course be ma sœur, right? Because we know ma conforms or goes with feminine singular for my. Ma sœur est grande with an E at the end, et drôle. The drôle will of course remain the same. The spelling would remain the same, right? Ma sœur est grande et drôle. And here we have il a des cheveux longs. He has long hair. But we would have to say she has long hair. So of course she in French is elle, and the rest remains the same. Elle a des cheveux longs. Okay, so of course, as I said before, the adjective agreement it usually applies to être, right? But depending on the sentence structure and what else is included, you just have to be aware. For avoir, just be aware, but it's usually with être, because of course être is pertaining, it pertains to specific mm, specific characteristics. Avoir as well, but it was more. It tends to have that gender agreement and number agreement scenario going on, right? With avoir, um, the like in this case, long here. This would have to agree. The long would have to agree with the cheveux, right? Not necessarily the il, because we're describing what type of hair he has, right? Whereas with tall and funny, that is regarding my brother, right? That's where, tall has to conform or agree with my brother. Funny has to agree with my brother, right? So these two would definitely agree with the subject of the sentence, which is my brother, right? But the object of this second sentence here is long hair, and that's the only thing that has to match up, right? It has nothing to do with he in this particular sense, right? I hope I'm making it clear. I hope it's there. So when we go through some more examples, it should be clear if it isn't already. Right, so we're going on to a little activity here. Let's complete the sentences below using the vocabulary and adjectives that we would have come across. Right, so we have ma something est gentil et intelligente. If we have ma, automatically we should be thinking something along the lines of feminine singular, right? Okay, so who are the feminine singular people that are in our family? We have sœur, we have mère, we have grand-mère, we have tante, we have cousine, right? Just to name those 5 basic family members. So we could put any of them. That's the point of this particular activity or this particular example, right? My aunt is kind and intelligent. My mother, my sister, my female cousin, right? They all have to be feminine and singular, right? Now, if you were to use a masculine singular, of course, the ma would change to mon. Like if you were to say my brother, oh no, let's use uncle. My uncle is kind and intelligent. Ma would become mon. Gentil would become gentil without the extra L and the E. And we'd have to remove the E here in intelligent as well. So it would be mon oncle est gentil et intelligent, right? No L and E here and no E here. Okay? All of the masculine family members would not have these extra letters at the end. The LE for gentil and the E, right, for intelligent. Alright, so that would entail père, frère, oncle, grand-père, cousin, beau-père, demi-frère, etc. Right? So, page 24, we kind of did that already. Right, that would be an in-class activity. Right, and right, hopefully I get to do this with you guys where you describe each other. Alrighty. So now we have a short quiz. Let's translate. My sister is kind and tall. My sister is kind and tall. Ma sœur est, what's the word for kind? Gentille and tall. Et grande. So it'll be ma sœur est gentille et grande with an E at the end, right? So double L-E for gentille and grande with an E at the end. Good. Number 2. Mon something est petit et drôle. My something, my whoever family member is short and funny. Remember the mon would conform to a masculine or a male family member. So we listed about 5 of them, and when we added the other 2, so you could have here mon père, mon frère, mon oncle, mon grand-père, mon demi-frère, mon frère, mon grand-père. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before, but all the male family members, right? Petit et drôle. And look at the spelling, right? Gender, agreement, and quantity. All right. No E at the end because this is a masculine noun. And drawl, of course, stays the same. We don't change drawl unless it's in the plural when we add s. Alrighty. Last but not least, number 3, write a sentence about yourself using être or avoir. Right? Well, in this case, I would love to use être and avoir. So, just off the bat, I would say je suis fille unique, which is true actually. I'm an only daughter. J'ai des cheveux longs. I have long hair. Right? Very simple, very basic, something like that. Right? That's actually 2 sentences, but if you want to make it one, of course, you can add the word and, a. Just join the 2 and you have your 1 sentence. Alright. And there are many other examples as seen on pages 20, 21, and 24, as you would have seen previously. So to recap, right, we would have looked at all the necessary or important key vocabulary, right? And as I mentioned before, the main list of vocabulary for the family members is found on page 29, right? Where you talk about my family, ma famille, and they state all the family members that you would need to know at this level, right? And of course, the grammar points entail avoir, using avoir and être correctly, right, for each subject pronoun. Right, we'd have shared sentences. If we haven't shared the sentences before, we'll be definitely sharing it when we reconvene either next week or the following week after sports day. And last but not least, I'd like you to write a paragraph describing 2 family members. So go back to page 24, right, and exercise 2, right, where you would have filled in the blanks with Karin's letter. We filled in the blanks for Karin's letter, sorry. And your response would be under his, where it also starts with salut, je something, ton ou ta correspondant or correspondante. Right? Of course, if you're male, you're leaving out the E. If you're female, you're putting in the E for correspondant or pen pal. Et je m'appelle, and you put your name. Right? Je, whatever. If you are an only child, an only son, or je ne suis pas, it would be je ne suis pas fils unique. If you're not an only son, or je ne suis pas fille unique. Right? Accordingly. Of course, you have to fill in the blanks. Read the entire thing first before you attempt to complete it so that you understand what you have to do. So we're going through it now and we'll go through it in class as well. Je something, je ne something pas très sportif or très sportive if you're female. J'ai un ami or j'ai une amie. Il or elle s'appelle whatever the name is, and then il, elle, something amusant. I'm not giving you all the answers because you're supposed to know based on what we would have done in exercise 1. Alright, and then réponds vite, whatever your name is for the last line there. Okay, so I hope this has been clear enough for you guys. Of course, feel free to review the video accordingly, use your time wisely, and I shall see you during our next class. Au revoir.